Yeah, guys, so I think we should start the class now. It's already 6:05. So, student, I think in the last session, if you remember that we have discussed about GE matrices. Along with that, we have also covered up about BCG matrices, and we've also discussed about the corporate parenting strategy. Okay. Now, after this particular topic of corporate parenting strategy, with the next topic that is called the strategic business units. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand what is SBU. Okay, as you know that each and every organization is basically working under certain functional areas. Now, when I'm just talking about the functional areas of any organization, we are always talking about marketing, finance, HR. This is basically called the functional level strategy because as you know that in each and every organization, we have certain departments available. And for all those departments, you need different type of strategy to implement in order to have a success or in order to have a proficiency of that particular department. Now, by keeping in all those consideration, it is very, very important that all the organization, there should be a particular coordination, there should be a particular association between all the strategic business unit of the organization, and in the integrated fashion only these companies can actually achieve the targets or the company's overall growth or overall target can be achieved by the organization. Now, when we talk about all this important information, the SBU level strategy, each and every particular entity or subpart of any organization must have their own strategy. As I told you, at a general level, we always talk about in an organization, we have certain sector of, you could say, level of departmentalization we have, which includes your marketing, finance, HR, operation, IT, etc. These basically departments are called your strategic business unit level strategies. Now, as you know that strategic business level strategy is also consist of the different departments are available. Okay, you can see this particular diagram right now. That is a corporate office, or we can say the head office. Like for example, you talk about McDonald's as you could say as a brand, Uber as a US brand, we can say WhatsApp or Facebook as a you could say global brand. Definitely, all the structures or designing which the company do, it is always basically associated with the corporate level or at the top management level. After that, you can see that Uber India, Uber Australia, Uber UK, Uber US, whatsoever. Each and every department of Uber is associated with a particular country. Like we talk about Uber India, it is called SBUA. Uber, we could say UK is SBUB, and so on. Now, the most important part is that what is strategic business unit? As you know that when we talk about a company which is a global company, for example, Tata belongs to India, its head office in India, but Tata is basically managing its operation throughout the world. Okay, in such regards, we always need to keep in mind all these important organizations having their particular territory to target. Territory to target, it means that these particular company having their, you could say, operations in different part of the world or different countries, we can say it is being completely expanded. That particular expansion is called your strategic business units. Now, as you know that each and every strategic business units having their own functional area. Functional area, as I told you already, finance, marketing, operation, HR, or IT sector. Okay, and even maybe depends on the type of company, the particular functional area may also vary according to the type of organization. Now, in order to understand the SBU, we need to keep in mind that each and every target area or target market having its own requirement, having its own challenges. According to that, each and every SBU is free to take any decision in order to give the best result or best, you could say, output at the end of the financial year. So this is a very basic important concept of what the SBU is all about. I hope so it's clear, guys. What is strategic business units? Guys, clear? I think everyone?
Quite clear, sir.
Yeah, sure. Any doubt, please? Examples are also clear, I think. We talk about Apple. Apple as a head office in US, having its strategic business unit in India, in Russia, in Australia, in China, and so on. So each and every department of Apple or strategic unit of Apple having their own operations in the different part of the world. And along with that, each and every SBU having its own functional department as well. Okay, SBU India having its particular functional department, SBU UK having functional department. According to that, they are spreading their operation in different parts of the world. Guys, I hope so it's clear what is SBU, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, as you can see that, as I told you, that the top management is basically holds some authority in order to take certain decisions when it's come to top management, or we can say corporate policy of the company. But when I'm just talking about the, you could say middle level or supervisory level management, it is basically all concerned with the functional, along with that strategic business units, or we can say, as you can see right now, it is called the SBU based units. Okay, now when we talk about the policy making as per the requirement of a country, for example, as I told you, Apple India, we talk about Uber India, we talk about McDonald's India, Pizza Hut India, whatsoever, they have, we could say, different sectors or different particular portion in which they are dealing. HP India, all these companies are basically MNCs or global companies, and they have their operation in different part of the world by covering a particular area, considering one area as one SBU. Okay, a particular company is focusing on Indian market only, that is called SBU India. Second, a particular company focusing on Pakistan market only, so that would be SBU Pakistan. According to the requirement of the country, the each and every top management, or the, you could say, the corporate level, they always set their SBU based on country, based on region, or based on group of organizations. Okay, and according to that, they always need to design all these important policies in order to run your SBU at a success. Okay, now these policy includes your marketing policies, production policies, financial plans, personal labor relationship means HR policies, accounting policies, and research and development policies. That is completely designed according to the need and requirement of a particular market. I hope it's clear, guys. The corporate strategy.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Perfect.
No, it's not clear for me. It will come back again, please.
Yes, Alan?
Yeah, I want to understand that diagram that you're just showing right now. How is all those functions attached to the corporate strategy?
Alan, we are not able to understand actually what's the query.
I beg your pardon, what are you saying?
Pardon?
Yeah, I'm saying this. I want to understand how the different departments, finance, production, personnel, accounting, are related to the corporate strategy.
See, I think when we're talking about all this policy making, as I told you, that when we talk about any headquarter of any company, let us suppose we talk about Apple India, okay, or Apple is a brand in the global market. Apple having their functional policies as per requirement of particular country or group of country, we can say. According to that, they will actually design their marketing plan as per Indian market. They will design their production plan as per Indian market, financial plan, HR planning, accounting policies, whatsoever. All these policy making are actually working on the functional area based on the requirement of the SBU India. I hope so. Is it your doubt and it's clear as well?
It's clear. It's okay. Thank you.
Yes, guys. Any more doubt, please, to anyone? I think understood this part. What exactly the meaning of this particular policy making? Yes, guys. Please kindly confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. One more example. I think you can see that corporate level strategy, that is called the corporate management. Then we have the SBU A, B, C, India, Australia, Africa, whatsoever, and each and every SBU having its all middle and supervisory management, or we can say functional level department, those who are supporting the SBU in order to have a widespread coverage in a particular territory. If you talk about Walmart India, so Walmart is basically again a US brand having a Walmart as an Indian market and serving because of this all this functional department. Because without functional department, it is next to impossible for a company to manage their operation in that part of world. It's one of the easiest topic we are discussing right now. Is it clear, please, everyone?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah. Next one, we have strategic management process. I think that we already covered up in the previous sessions as well. Now, the important part in this particular diagram that is about the strategic management process, you can see that whenever a particular top management wanted to decide upon the strategy making for different, you could say, SBU units. Okay, and as we know that for each and every SBU unit, they have somehow the different positioning or different way how the company can actually deal that particular market, because requirement of that locality would be very different. Each and every market is very different when it's come to their operational requirements. Okay, in all such regards, we need to keep in mind that how the particular analysis or strategy making can be underdone by the organization. Okay, now in this regards, you can see the first point right now. The corporate, I mean the top management, they actually design the strategies for the company as a whole, irrespective of the SBUs we are talking right now. Okay, according to that, they will go for environmental appraisal. Now, what is environmental appraisal? If a particular corporate or a particular top management is actually thinking to design the policies for the company as a whole, what would be the major points which comes under environmental appraisal and how it is affecting the company? Haji, anyone, please. Yes, guys, please. What is environmental appraisals of SBU? I think we discussed in the last session about the environmental scanning, which includes about all the basic direct or indirect factor which directly affecting the company's operation. Yes, Ms. Poonam, I think you want to say something.
The factors of political, economical.
Yes, basically we are discussing about the environmental scanning or environmental analysis. It includes your pest analysis basically. That is political environment, economical, ecological, legal, political, geographical. So analyzing a particular, for example, if the Apple as a company want to expand their operation into Indian market, definitely they need to, you could say, assess the environment first. Assessing the environment we're talking right now, we are talking about the environmental scanning. And these environmental scanning basically consist of all the important factors which may or may not affect the companies directly or indirectly into its operational efficiencies. That is called environmental appraisals. Once the company is basically gone through with all the important assessment analysis of the company or of the, say, SBUs, they always actually design the strategic advantages. They need to think upon that how a particular market can give the benefit to the company. Like what the Kia Motors did actually in India. Because Kia Motors understood the requirement of the market, and recently within the 4 or 5 years span of time, they have actually captured a particular prominent market share in comparison with the Hyundai and the Maruti. Okay, so that is again one of the examples we are talking right now. That is what is the strategic advantage in order to enter into the particular market. Then consider alternative strategy, because as we know that whenever we are selecting a particular market, we always need to keep in mind that the market or the option which we have, for example, a particular US based firm, an MNC, want to expand its operation in Asian market. They have India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and other countries are in loop line. The company need to decide upon that which alternative will give them the utmost benefit when it's come to profit making from the organization. Okay. Now, in this regards, as you can see that because once we have the alternatives available, we need to keep in mind that how this particular alternatives may help the company in order to get succeed into that particular region. Like this is an example of Kia we are talking right now. Once the company has selected a particular market, like maybe it's a Asian region we are talking right now, out of those 4 to 5 alternative options they do have, they selected Sri Lanka as a potential market. Now, as for Sri Lankan market, definitely they need to keep in mind that how a particular company may actually put forward their strategy in order to capture Sri Lankan market as a particular base market in the Asian territory. Okay. After that, once the company decided their, you could say, location or their prominent, you could say, country where they want to expand their operation, they will definitely allocate the fund and communicate the policies when it comes to functional level policy, which we discussed in the last slide as well. Okay. Once it is done, definitely company will evaluate their strategy. Company will actually start commercialization of their operation. Once it is done, definitely company will start evaluating result of the strategy. Result means whether the particular decision which the company took out of the alternative, is it true or not. Then, guys, please kindly mute yourself. Humble request. Then we have developing an organizational functional policies that we discussed already. I think so. It is about the functional level policies, which includes your HR policies, marketing policies, accounting policies, production policies, and so on. Then choosing a strategy, because as you know that, because SBU level objective, because once the company has done with the corporate level strategy, then definitely they go for SBU level strategy. And these SBU level strategy is basically compared, because as you know that each and every SBU unit is altogether different market, and company must need to hand over the operation to the expert belong to that particular territory. We talk about a different market of India, China, Bangladesh, Pakistan, whatsoever. Each and every market having their own potential, their own requirement, and according to that, the SBU units must have to design their strategy. They have to plan their strategy. They have to execute and implement their strategy so that the company will get benefited at the end of the tenure. Guys, any doubt, please, in this particular SBU management process? Is this part clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next one, we have the next topic that is called the functional level strategy. As I told you, functional level strategy basically consists of all this important policy making. Okay, these policy making basically consist of marketing policy, production policy, financial, HR, accounting, research and development, and so on. Depends on the requirement of the company. As you can see that the functional level strategy is basically the most important component for any industries, because these are the supporting hand of a particular company's success or failure, because they are the operational, you could say, territory, those who are directly dealing with the customer, supplier, government, or all the users, those who belong to that particular territory. Okay, so when we discuss about the functional level strategy, that sets the tone, that decide the pace, that define the fate of the company when it's come to its success or its failure. Now, when I'm just talking about the companies, you could say efficiencies or companies' ability to become superior in the market, they always need to focus on these four basic parameters. This parameter consists of efficiency, quality, innovation, and customer responsiveness. In order to become a successful strategic business in a particular territory or locality, the company must need to focus on all these important ability to improve or the area of improvement they need to focus on. Means all these 4 points must be checked out properly, must be designed properly, so that you would be always, you could say, having an edge over your competitor when it's come to companies, you could say, assignments or approaches, when it's come to how the company may be actually able to implement their plans, their strategy in the long run. Along with that, we always need to keep in mind these 3 basic factors, which is based on customer services, because ultimately customers are the king, and in order to fulfill their expectation, fulfill their desire, it is the most important component of any organization. In such regards, the first point is called through differentiation, creating more value than rivals, and low cost structure. We'll discuss all this point one by one. The first and foremost example right now, that is called through differentiation. Can you please quote one example how a particular company, because of the differentiation strategy, they are capturing the market like anything? Like Apple, definitely one of the part. We will not discuss that example again and again. Philips, again, one of the part. Hire, Kia Motors, Morris Garage, Internet Vehicle, they're the first one to launch in the Indian market. They are actually following the differentiation strategy in order to capture the